Hey, fourth grade. Welcome to Tuesday. There's only 2 more learning days before we start our spring break. So let's talk about our assignments first. So today is a discussion day for Google Class for book club, and those questions are looking a little bit different this week. So the thing you should notice on your weekly slides is that you need to read a different passage. The link is in your weekly slide. It's a short story. And then you're responding to a question about that story. It's not about your book club book this week. So your first question for that is due today. And then you are uploading videos today for your writing project for your unique talent. Make sure that you are reading your writing first, showing us a picture, and then demonstrating your talent. Math is practice 14-2, and you're continuing to work on your climate notes for social studies, the Southwest region. Make sure you're checking PowerSchool for updates about our specials, and if you're having any difficulties with completing your work or understanding what your work means for specials, make sure you're contacting our art, music, and gym teachers, Miss Berg, Miss Schilling, Miss Malloy, and Mr. Bisworm. So that is our assignments for today. Let's get to Maniac McGee. So we ended with Maniac McGee defeating this huge knot. Cobble's knot was finally undone. It was just a piece of string. And the goal of that, of Maniac untying this huge, crazy fuzzball of a knot, was that maybe he would be accepted among his new community. Remember, he wants to try to find a home, and not everybody in Amanda's African American community was accepting of Maniac. So we have to see going forward if Maniac is accepted or not. So we are on chapter 21. Bugles, cap guns, sirens, fireworks, war whoops. Cobble's Corner was a madhouse. Traffic had to beep and inch through the mob. Kids cried for autographs. Scraps of paper fluttered down in a shower of homemade confetti. A beaming Mr. Cobble handed up a certificate to Maniac for the year's worth of large pizzas. Maniac accepted it and said his thanks. The undone knot lay in a coiled heap at Maniac's feet. The undone knot lay in a coiled heap at Maniac's feet. Mr. Cobble grabbed it. Already people were guessing how long it was. It turned out to be 4.5 blocks long. Someone tried to stop sign and started walking, and that's how far he got before he gave up. So just imagine. So if you think about your street where you live, if you went down your street way more than 4 houses from where you live, this piece of string, the rope, was way longer than going down your street, even 4 or 5 houses. The yelling went on, the way yelling does, if only to hear itself. But one person wasn't yelling. Amanda Beale. She was holding one of the handmade confetti scraps, gaping at it. Then she was scrambling across the sidewalk, the street, shoving people's leg aside, grabbing more scraps, crying out, "Oh no! Oh no!" And then she was running. Oh. You have to think. What does Amanda love? Kind of more than anything? Why is she freaking out about paper coming from the sky? Why is she saying, "Oh no"? Maniac saw. He leaped from the table. He picked up a scrap. There was printing on it about Africa. He picked up another. This one mentioned ants. Another, Aristotle. The Encyclopedia A, that dictionary book. What happened? He followed the scrap trail up Hector and down Sycamore, all the way to the Beals' front steps. The only thing left of the book was a blue and red cover. It looked something like an empty loose-leaf binder. Amanda was hunched over it, rocking and squeezing it to her chest. "It was my fault," she sobbed. "I got careless. I left it in the living room." She sobbed. Anybody could look through the window, and she clenched her eyes so tight it was a wonder the tears got out. More than anything, Maniac wanted to hug Amanda, to tell her it was okay. She wanted to go inside, be with his family in his home, his room, behind his window, but that wasn't the right thing. The right thing was to make sure the Beals didn't get hurt anymore. He couldn't keep letting them pay such a price for him. He turned and headed back up Sycamore. Maybe the man with the can of worms' voice was right. Back to your own kind. Back to your own. He never got farther west than the far curb of Hector Street, because McNabb and the Cobras were there to meet him, grinning, leering, hissing. "Yo, baby, we hear you got a little pizza prize there. Come on back. We missed ya. We've been waiting for ya." So he turned and started walking north on Hector, right down the middle of the street, right down the invisible line dividing East End and West End. Cars beeped at him, drivers hollered, but he never flinched. The Cobras kept right along with him on this side of the street. So did a bunch of East Enders on their side. One of them was Mars Bar. Both sides were calling for him to come over. And then they were calling to each other, then yelling, then cursing. But nobody stepped off a curb. Everybody kept north. An ugly, snarling, black and white escort for the kid in the middle. And that's how it went. Between the curbs, smack dab in the center, Maniac walked, not ran, right out of town. Chapter 22. If you were the baby buffalo at the Elmwood Park Zoo, maybe it would have gone something like this. You woke up, you have breakfast, compliments of mother's milk. You mosey on over to the lean-to. Surprise! A strange new animal in there. Bigger than you, but a lot smaller than Mom. Hair, but only on the top of your head. Sitting in the straw, munching on a carrot, just like Mom does. Every morning, same thing. You get to expect it. Some mornings you forget Mom's milk and head right over to the lean-to. The creature offers you a carrot, but all you know how to deal with is milk. You nuzzle the new funny-smelling, hairy-headed animal. It nuzzles you back. Mom doesn't seem to mind. After the nuzzling, the stranger climbs over the fence and goes away, not to return until that night. Only one morning the stranger falls from the fence and lies on the ground, on the other side. It doesn't move. You try to poke your nose through the chain link, but you can't reach. You can only watch. The old man was bumping through the zoo in the park pickup when he spotted the body clumped outside the buffalo pen. He wheeled over, got out. A kid! At first, he could only stare at the body, then at the baby bison, whose large brown eyes seemed to be watching them both. The mother came lumbering over, nodding as if to confirm. A kid. The kid looked terrible. His clothes were scraps, rags. Wherever his body showed through, it was bony and dirty and scratched. The two bison, staring, seemed to say, "Well, do something." The old man gathered his own bones and muscles as best he could and managed to hoist the kid and get him into the pickup. He laid him on the seat, bent his legs so he could close the door. He knew he should take the kid straight to the hospital or a doctor, someplace official, someplace right. But the pickup just sort of steered itself back to the band shell, and there he was, lugging the kid into the baseball equipment room. The season was over now, but the army green burlap bags still stood ready for the next ump to call. Play ball! He yanked out a couple of chest protectors and laid the kid down carefully with his head. At least he was breathing. Though it wasn't cold, it seemed as if the kid ought to be covered, so the old man took his work winter coat off the hook and laid that over him. Then he waited and watched. With trembling, dusty fingers, he touched the kid's limp, scrawny hand. He had never really touched a kid's hand before. Hey. The kid's voice was barely a squeak, but it threw him back. He dropped the hand. Where am I? The old man cleared his throat. The band shell. The band shell? In the back, equipment room. The kid's eyes squinted and blinked. Are you? What about me? Who are you? Grayson. Grayson, do I know you? He got up. Guess you do now. He went to his hot plate, heated up some water, and made chicken noodle soup. He gave it to the kid, who was sitting up now. Want a spoon? He looked as though he could hardly lift the cup. He held it with both hands, gulped it down. Huh? Never mind. You still hungry? The kid flapped back down. A little. Wait here, said Grayson, and left. 10 minutes later, he was back with a Zepp, a large. It took the kid less time to polish it off than it had taken Grayson to get it. He told the kid not to eat so fast. He'd get sick. The kid nodded. Grayson said, Where'd you get them scratches? Oh, some pricker bush. What were you doing there? Hiding. Hiding? Who from? Some kids. Where? The kid pointed. Somewhere out there. Some other town. He crossed his legs Indian style on the chest protector. Can I ask you a favor? Shoot. Can we go somewhere and get some butterscotch crimpets? Grayson squawked. Crimpets? You're still hungry? For them? I am. Grayson threw the greasy Zepp wrapper into the wastebasket. I don't know. Maybe you ought to do something for me first. Like what? Like, tell me your name? It's Jeffrey McGee. And where do you live? Well, I did live on Sycamore Street, 728. Did? I guess I don't anymore. The old man stared. You said Sycamore? Yep. Ain't that East End? Yep. With his fingernail, he scraped a path of dirt off the kid's forehead. He stared at it. What are you doing? The kid asked. Seeing if you white under there. Neither spoke for a while. At last the kid said, Anything else you want to know about me? The old man shrugged. Guess not. Ah, come on. Don't stop asking. I'm asked out. How about the zoo, huh? Don't you want to know what I'm doing at the zoo? At the buffalo pen? The old man sighed. Okay. What? I was living there. With the buffaloes? Yep. With the buffaloes. You like the buffalo? It was dark when I got there. I thought it was the deer pen. They switched the deer and the buffaloes around last month. Okay with me. I got along better with the buffalo anyway. Well, I'll tell you one thing, the old man sniffed. You sure do smell like one. The kid laughed. They both laughed. When they finally calmed down, the kid said, Any chance of those crimpets now? Grayson reached for the pickup keys. Let's go. We'll stop there. Fourth grade, I do have one more thing I want to mention to you. And that is an invite I sent to your student email on Thursday. This coming Thursday, that would be the 6th. No, not the 6th. That would be the 9th. On Thursday, the 9th, this week from 1 until 2, I will be on Hangouts to hang out with you, answer questions, just have us together again one more time before we experience our spring break. So if you're not sure that you received my invite and that you're able to video chat with us as a class, I will attach my original video explaining how to download from self-service and log in for the first time into Hangouts Meet by Google. But I'm hoping a lot of you can make it. It is not a must-do, but it's a may-do. So you don't have to come if you don't want to or you're not able. But if you would like to swing on by, I will be on on that video chat for the whole hour. You can come for all or some of that time. So I hope you pick me up on my offer. So 4th grade, it's been really nice talking with you on this beautiful Tuesday day. And I look forward to seeing all of you soon. Take care, 4th grade.